Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hang out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy is Ted.
And today we're delving back into the Starfinder Core Rule book, and this time we're going to be talking about archetypes.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
And while you're down there, you can also find a link to get your copy of Starfinder.
All right, so we're continuing our series of Starfinder review. We're going to continue this time, page 126 on archetypes.
Yeah, this is the last section for character classes for Starfinder. Archetypes are these neat little things, these tweaks that you can do to your character class in order to change it up a little bit. It's not a full class. It's not quite enough for that.
It's a major modification that you can technically add anywhere. So it's like, oh, you want to play a psychic character, but you want to mix it up with one of the core classes. So you wind up stripping out regular class features or possibly delaying when you would normally get certain features and get other things instead.
Yeah, so essentially, the first couple pages of this is really, it just goes into explaining what they are and what it means to each of the core classes in the Starfinder book. And then it kind of goes into the actual paths that you can take, the archetypes you can take in the core book. Now, I imagine as Starfinder puts out more and more material, you're going to see more and more archetypes, and you're going to have different ways to modify your character classes in the game. Now, some of them are complete overhauls where, it's going to alter the class from very early levels, like second level, all the way up, until you're almost maxed out at 20. And then some of them, it's only going to be like a handful of abilities.
So it's built that you could possibly get things at, 2nd, 4th, 6th, 12th, and 18th levels. So it's like, whoa, you're going to lose, potentially all of this stuff from your actual class. But then in substitute, you're getting abilities from your archetype.
Right. And, they give you two examples. They give you the Phrenic adept and the Starfinder forerunner. Now, the Starfinder forerunner actually belongs to the Starfinder Society, which is like an adventuring guild kind of thing for exploration, or a guild for exploration. They kind of go to the pack worlds that haven't been explored yet. Now, you can be a part of that society without taking the archetype, but you probably don't have the archetype if you're not part of that society.
Right.
These are like specialists among the society, and that's an organization that is later in the book.
So now, if you were to decide to go with this one, you're only trading out 3 things. You get something at 2, 4, and 6, and it's cut and dry. So that anything else that you're going to get from your class, you're still gonna be able to capitalize on it. So it's a quick dab into other abilities if you're really into that exploration and going to uncharted worlds.
Yeah, the forerunner really speaks to the survivalist type character. So no matter what you're playing, whether it's an operative or a technomancer or mechanic, what this is going to do is it's going to really speak to and double down on the fact that you're also a survivalist. It doesn't matter where they put you or where you end up. You can kind of find your way, and all your abilities kind of speak to that. You get some extra class abilities added to your list. So, it's a very specific type of character you're going to build off of that.
Now your Phrenic, this is your psychic, and here's one where it's an overhaul. Now, there's abilities at 2nd, 4th, 6th, 9th, 12th, and 18th level. So you literally are losing, almost a third of what your character would be getting. So you have to really be doubling down on, I want this concept of a psychic character in this world.
You say psychic character, I say Jedi. Like, I look at Phrenic Adept and I look at their abilities, and a lot of them look like force powers to me.
Well, there could definitely be some crossover there.
Like, a lot of it is like emotion and detecting and mind reading. Like one of the spells they actually get to cast is like, what is it? Psychokinetic strangulation or something. I'm probably not even saying that. Yeah, it is psychokinetic strangulation. Dude, that is literally a force choke. that you're going to gain access to. So like this is kind of cool too. Like if you're maybe a soldier or an operative, you're going to take very like psionic magic type powers and add it to a class that doesn't get as much of those. So yeah, it is a trade off, but it's going to take your character into a different and interesting path. Like if you have another soldier in your group, in your party, and one of you go Phrenic adept, you guys are going to look completely different. You're going to have now you have a different suite of abilities, and I think it's rather flavorful and interesting. And like I said, to me, it just like screams
Jedi.
Yeah.
So you start off, you get the Phrenic Awakening, which allows you to be able to communicate telepathically, just like the Lashunta and the Shirans do. And if you happen to be one of those races, your range winds up doubling. So it goes out to 60 feet as opposed to 30. So I think that's pretty cool that they did incorporate that as opposed to be like, oh, you already get it? Oh, well, you're beat.
Right. Well, not only that, too, you actually get access to a couple more languages as well.
Yes.
But only for speaking telepathically. So that's kind of cool. It's a nice little twist. And then if you then learn one of those languages and can speak it regularly,
you get another one.
Then you just get another one. So you can kind of keep adding it and like talk to all the peoples.
Yep.
The next thing you get is Phrenic Defense, and this really speaks to the fact that your mind is very resistant to psychic attacks. You get advantages to make saving throws against that, which means whenever someone uses one of those powers on you, you roll 2d20 and pick the best one.
Right.
So the only addendum is you spend a resolve point, and you re-roll that failed saving throw, and you got to take the last thing you roll. But if you're re-rolling, you probably messed up anyway.
You're re-rolling because you think you failed, so you might as well give it another shot.
Well, and also too, if you do fail the saving throw, even if you do fail the saving throw, if it's a damage effect, you still take half. So it really speaks to their like mental toughness, as long as you have resolve points.
Yes, yeah, you gotta make sure you got that. But we're not gonna go through like everything, point by point. But as you gain levels, you're getting access to more and more, mind affecting type, spell like features. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, charm monster, as Dave says, psychokinetic strangulation, confusion, mind probe, telepathic bond. And then, once you get to the 18th level, this is where you really get some pretty cool stuff. So you got mass synesthesia. So this is where you're essentially trying to affect a whole bunch of minds at once. And, I think that's pretty cool. You've got Psychic Crush. You can deal 15 die 8 non-lethal damage and cause them to be sickened per 1 round per class level, which 18 rounds, that's pretty nice. And then, last you get Thought Shield. You can get, as a move action, you get a +5 bonus to saving throws against mind-affecting effects for 1 round per class level again.
Yeah. So one of the things that's worth noting too is when you take an archetype, you attach it to a character class. So if you later decide to multi-class, you can't use that other class as your archetype as well. You could take a new archetype with the other class, but they would be separate. So it's forever attached to that class. So it becomes a part of it.
So if I took operative, and then as part of that operative at second level, when I would be getting my class features, if I chose Phrenic Adept and operative are stuck together, and then I later chose I want to be a soldier, and again at second level I decided I wanted to go Starfinder Forerunner, then those things are inseparably linked.
Yeah, and one of the things you'll see is some of these abilities are going to be affected by your class level. Some of them will be affected by your character level. So those are the important things to keep in mind. And so if you're going to go down that route, when you start building your character, you're going to want to know well in advance which direction you're going to go.
Absolutely. So I make sure you're set, make sure you're prepped. If you go Starfinder Forerunner, you only need to get to 6th level to get all that's out of there. So that one's easy to cherry pick, a class for. But
it's also very like super specific as well.
Yes.
What you're going to do with that.
Exactly. So, but if you're looking to go with Phrenic Adept, you should really be tying into that one for the long haul because it seriously pays off.
Yeah. There's a commitment, and you're probably not going to want a multi-class.
All right, so what do you guys think of Archetypes? What do you think of Starfinder? It's a great place to continue that conversation. It's down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
While you're down there, you can find the link to get your copy of Starfinder.
So until next time, stay nerdy.